From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network and Troy campuses around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Weekly.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Weekly. We're glad you joined us for this look at what's happening in and around Troy University. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Parts of the Florida Panhandle were devastated by Hurricane Michael, and many of the residents in the area are still trying to recover and rebuild. Troy University Student Government Association is encouraging students to help with the relief efforts. Sarah Weeks shows us how.
While the city of Troy mainly saw heavy rain, wind, and some downed tree limbs during Hurricane Michael, other nearby areas were not as lucky. That's why Troy University Student Government Association is working to gather donations for those affected by the storm.
A lot of students wanted to go and wanted to be able to give things, and so we thought it would be good for SGA to be kind of the central point for donations to both give them and for groups leaving to come get them and take them down.
The SGA is collecting non-perishable food items such as canned food, baby food, granola bars, and water, as well as items such as toiletries, feminine products, and first aid supplies.
We would just really love to see our number go up. We're trying to fill the 18-wheeler that athletics is providing for us to send items down, so we don't have that much items yet, so we would love to see that number grow.
Although most Troy University students were safe during the storm, many students, families, and friends are now without homes, food and water, and other basic necessities.
I just hope that it shows them that someone cares, that they're not alone, and that even though it feels like they have nothing, there are people that are willing to give them things.
A full list of acceptable donation items was sent to all Troy University email accounts, and the list can be found on Troy Today's blog. For students wishing to take their donation one step further, Troy University's SGA, along with other Troy University students, will be making a trip to Panama City, Florida on October 20th. The group will meet at the Barnes & Noble's parking lot and will leave at 6 a.m. Sarah Weeks, Troy TrojanVision News.
In the days immediately following the devastation caused by Michael, families were unable to contact loved ones, including some Troy University students. And while they were unable to help from Pike County in the hours right after the storm, many decided to come together and do what they could from afar. Brady Talbert has more.
Hurricane Michael has made news across the nation as onlookers witnessed the effects of the Category 4 storm through cell phone video and photos. Besides those in the Florida Panhandle at the time of the storm, the effects can be felt right here in Troy.
It's kind of surreal, honestly, just not being home and only seeing pictures and videos from home. But I don't know, it's just crazy that it actually happened to Panama City. It seems like it's always somewhere else that these bad storms and tragedies happen to.
I think the hardest part is definitely not having contact with my family. So just having that sporadic contact of a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there, calls going in and out. So that's been the toughest part of not being able to see if my family's okay.
Thursday night, Troy students, some of which were natives of the Gulf Coast, unified for a time of prayer and worship. The night was sponsored by no particular club or on-campus organization, but was organized through word of mouth.
A few students were just thinking, just in light of Hurricane Michael, just that we're called to come together as a body of believers just to lift up this time and the city and this tragedy just in prayer. And so that's what we're doing, just lifting it up and praying over the people and the town, the home, the businesses that are lost, and just everything that's been happening.
God was there when it was good, and God's still there now that it's bad. God's always there. He's never leaving us. He's never walking away from us. And I know that. And that's where I'm finding my hope right now. My joy is because I know he was over my family during the hurricane, and he's over my family right now after the hurricane.
Kind of the only thing that we can do now is to just look to Christ in this.
Miss Troy University represents Troy in the Miss Alabama pageant every year. And this Saturday, we'll learn who'll be wearing this year's crown. Cody Giles gives us a preview of the Miss Troy University pageant.
On Wednesday, a multitude of girls and even a few guys met up in Claudia Crosby Theater to practice one last time for the upcoming Miss Troy pageant, in which they have committed more than 40 practices to perfect the show, all in hopes of being crowned Miss Troy University.
Well, we give our students an opportunity to practice so that they'll be their very most confident on the stage. Many of our girls, because this is a school pageant, have never entered a pageant before, and so they're not familiar with the requirements of a Miss Alabama preliminary.
Even though these women are competing against one another for the main title of Miss Troy University, there is still a sense of camaraderie among the students as they face off on stage.
I have really bonded with really all of the girls that are involved in this pageant this year. It's really more than the pageant. It became a sisterhood.
However, even through this sisterhood, only one can come out victorious. You can help show your support by attending the pageant and even voting for your own favorite.
Saturday, October the 20th, and our Miss Pageant will be at 5:30. So we need everybody to come out and be here for these girls. Come out and support them. Be here to yell for your favorite one, and you can also support your favorite contestant by voting for People's Choice at $1 a vote.
And on a final note, Alan wishes everyone good luck on the big day.
Good luck to everyone involved. Just remember, stay strong. It's not about who's winning. It's just about ambition and realizing who you are as a woman.
Cody Giles, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
College is a place where teenagers turn into adults, and during this time is usually when young adults are considering voting for the first time ever. But it can be confusing on how to get registered, especially with an election coming up. So as Lauren Harkson shows us, Troy University Student Government Association was doing their part to make the process easier for students.
The November 6th general election is coming up quickly, and Troy University Student Government Association is taking action to help students get registered in time to vote. This is one of the last opportunities before the deadline on October 22nd.
We have a 14-day window to actually process our applications. We have to go through them and make sure people are eligible here. You know, if we have somebody that we need to transfer from another county or another state, it gives us plenty of time to get the information into the system.
Because of a misplacement of student voter registration forms a few years ago, the SGA has taken steps to ensure that the forms get into and remain in the right hands.
So we changed actually and got the County Board of Registrars involved. So they are here with us today. They have the forms. It's their office that they get turned into. So the forms will leave with them, so you don't have to worry about anything like that happening because the forms are in their hands from start to finish.
And with this last opportunity, the Troy students are encouraged to register in time to use their voice in the election.
I think we should exercise our right to vote because it is a right given to us. It's something that we need to do, and not everyone is guaranteed that right in other countries. This is what makes America so great, that we can control our government and control who's in our government.
If you missed the voter registration table, no worries. There's another way to register before the deadline.
Register online. It goes into a queue. It'll take 24 hours, and we can pull you in that way.
To register online, you can visit alabamavotes.gov.
We'll take a short break, but when we return, we'll see how some Troy University students were preparing for life after college. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
It's the Talk of Troy. Voices and sounds from the campuses of Troy University.
Students find how to disagree with one another in a civil way, and I think that can help them in the future to be the best citizens they can be.
Join us for the Talk of Troy, Fridays at 8:45 a.m. and 3:44 p.m., and Sundays at 4:35 p.m. on Troy Public Radio.
Now back to Troy Trojan Vision News Weekly.
When a student is looking for a job, they'll usually want to make a good impression by wearing the right clothes. However, some students don't have the money to get their hands on a business suit. Well, Troy University has an option for those students, and now it's in a newly expanded location. Janae Jordan has more.
In the spring, Troy University launched its soft opening of the Career Closet in Bibb Graves 311. But after much success, the Career Closet needed a bigger space. On Monday, Troy University opened its official career closet with a ribbon-cutting ceremony to welcome students to the new and improved career closet in Bibb Graves 329.
So we just found the need for students to have professional dress items. Some students either can't afford it or they just don't want to buy it early on in their career, so we wanted to be able to provide an option for them to have ways to dress professionally. We had a small launch in the spring and it turned out really well, so we decided to expand and we're now in a larger location with even more inventory.
Troy University's Career Closet is a great way for students to wear business casual outfits to class and then change into business professional outfits that can be worn to meetings and interviews.
First impressions are really important, and a great way to make a great first impression is to dress professionally. So we want students to represent themselves and Troy University well, and what better way to do that than to help them dress professionally.
The Career Closet gathers clothes from faculty, alumni, and partners around the community who are willing to donate gently used clothes. And then students are able to shop around for 3 free items.
So students, you just sign in with their student ID, so as long as you're a current student at Troy University, you can come in and shop for up to 3 free professional items.
Troy University's Career Services will host the Career Fair on Wednesday from 10 to 2 in the Trojan Center ballrooms. Janae Jordan, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And education majors had the opportunity Thursday morning to network with potential employers in hopes of securing a job, with many students being offered interviews on the spot. Brady Talbert has the details on the Fall Education Fair.
On Thursday, Hawkins Hall was bustling with senior education majors seeking a job after college. Troy University's Career Services organized a fair specifically for those looking to enter the field of education. School systems from Alabama, Georgia, and Florida were at the event, allowing students time to weigh their options.
The education majors can come here and walk into a room and have over 40 employers that are getting ready to hire them. It's a very competitive field right now. Lots of graduating teachers are getting good jobs.
Now, Thursday's fair provided education majors with the opportunity to network with schools from across the Southeast, a campus-sponsored event with real-world benefits.
When you walk up to the table, they ask you what your major is, if you're looking to stay around this area, or if you're open to moving to other places, and they tell you a little bit about your school. And then I've actually had a few people ask me to come back for interviews, so that's really exciting.
Troy University's Career Services says we can expect another education fair in the spring semester. At Hawkins Hall, Brady Talbert, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Troy University does not have a law school, so if a Troy student is interested in pursuing a law degree, they'll have to attend school elsewhere after graduation. So to help those students interested in law, the College of Arts and Sciences presented some options Tuesday morning. Carissa Justice has more.
Tuesday morning, the Troy University College of Arts and Sciences presented Law Day 2018 to give students interested in pursuing a career in law the opportunity to learn about different law schools around the Southeast through an interactive browse session.
So we developed this Law Day about 5 years ago. We invite law schools to come and talk to the students one-on-one. We like for them to give a little overview about their school.
6 law schools are represented at the browse session, including the University of Alabama School of Law, Mississippi College School of Law, John Marshall School of Law, and more. Events such as this give students the ability to network with the directors of admission from each of the law schools.
Networking is the key. Okay, you learn other people, you get to know them, you get to know their requirements for school, and you learn what it takes for them to get into school, their admission requirements, what kind of student they're looking for, and to see if you're a good fit for their program.
And while Troy University does not offer a pre-law major, there are still plenty of ways for students to get the necessary experience law school requires.
We do have an accelerated law school program where they can go 3 years here at Troy, and then they can choose a partnered university or partnered institution to attend law school with.
Carissa Justice, Troy, TrojanVision News.
We're going to take another quick break, but when we come back, we'll see how some Troy students use their feet to help make some wishes come true. That's coming up right after this, so stay tuned.
So they say it's a man's world? anybody's name on it. While they were out doing their thing, we slowly changed all that. We changed all that. Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Now back to Troy Trojan Vision News Weekly.
A lot of people try to avoid extra walking, but Friday night, Chi Omega gave students an opportunity to walk to give money to a worthy cause. Taylor Pollock gives us a look.
On Friday, Chi Omega wrapped up their Wish Week fundraising with their Walk for Wishes event.
So we've got our first ever Walk for Wishes. It is a 1 mile walk around the quad to raise awareness and money for Make-A-Wish Alabama. For the whole week of our Philanthropy Week, we hope to raise $24,000 because we want to grant 3 different wishes.
For $30, participants walked a mile around the Bibb Graves quad and got to enjoy music, snacks, and socialize. All of the proceeds went towards granting the wishes of children through the Make-A-Wish Foundation, Chi Omega's official philanthropy.
In 2002, Chi Omega decided to start supporting Make-A-Wish nationally, and we as a chapter go along with that because we love the organization, we love what it does, and we stand behind them, so we want to support them.
Chi Omega's sister Emily Anderson knows firsthand how having a wish granted can impact the life of a child, as she shared her testimony of being diagnosed with kidney and blood clot disorders as a teenager and how Make-A-Wish changed her life.
It's very important to me. I'm really happy to be part of an organization that cares so much about this organization that made such a difference in my life. It was one of the major deciding factors when I joined.
The main goal of helping children in need resonated with various Troy students.
We just wanted to come out and support Chi Omega because Make-A-Wish is related with Children's Miracle Network Hospital, which is our philanthropy event, and we just wanted to really help these kids get their wish because it is proven that kids who get the wish do improve medically, and so yeah, we just wanted to come out here and support.
Taylor Pollock, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
Drug addiction is an unfortunate reality for many people, including college students. So Trojan Outreach was on the quad on Tuesday to get people to pledge to leave drugs alone. Seth Hawk explains.
On Tuesday, Trojan Outreach had a table on the Bibb Graves quad to spread awareness about the dangers of drug addiction.
Addiction is something that affects a lot of people in their lives, especially in college. So we just think it's important for people to know what they're putting in their body when they choose to do a drug, as well as the reality of addiction.
Students had the opportunity to make a pledge by doing something more than signing their name on a sheet of paper.
So we have these leaves, and basically we're getting people to sign their name, pledging to leave drugs alone. So yeah, and then we're gluing them to this banner, and it's going to be this big pledge that we're going to hang up throughout the university. And then we also have handouts. It talks about some commonly used drugs in college, the side effects of them, and then some hotline numbers and people to call if maybe you're struggling with addiction and want to get help.
Students that want to fight their addiction have the opportunity to contact several services on the Troy campus.
There's a student counseling center. They're open from 8 to 5. It's free confidential counseling. You can go there. You can also go to health services as well.
The Student Counseling Center is located across the street from the Payton House at 113 College Drive, and you can call them at 334-670-3700. Seth Hawk, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
Short stories allow people to enter a world of imagination and adventure, and on Wednesday, students were able to attend a forum that showcased readings from a short story author. Aaron Dixon has the details from Wednesday's English Forum.
A Woman Walked Into the Bar is a collection of short stories by Linda Hearing, and each story is a little different with its own point of view. Hearing spoke with students and faculty about her work at the English Forum on Wednesday.
There are 15 stories in the collection. They're all told from the point of view of different people. So there are young men in college, there are old people, retired people, a girl in junior high school. They're not linked at all, but they all have something in common. They're more Southern Gothic stories.
One of the stories from the book Hearing shared was about a woman from Louisiana, and Dr. Patricia Waters said that story is one of her favorites because it's relatable and hits close to home.
It's particular sense of place because I lived in Louisiana. I know what Louisiana is like in the back country. The fact that the characterization is so low-key and very realistic, and just you feel like these are people you know.
Waters adds that students who are interested in writing should take advantage of hearing from authors when the chance arises.
I would say when we have a writer on campus, you need to come and hear the writer. You need to come and hear the language be alive through the writer's voice. That will make all the difference to a writer beginning their career.
The English Forum gives students the ability to come witness literature come alive, and all they have to do is take a seat. Aaron Dixon, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Every week, the International Student Cultural Organization teaches students about the many cultures represented here on Troy's campus. However, this past week, they broke away from their traditional meetings to have a little fun with dancing. Sam Granville has the story.
Thursday evening, Troy's International Student Cultural Organization held their weekly gathering in the packed-out BCM facilities on campus. This week, ISCO's featured country was India, and those who gathered were thoroughly entertained as they embarked on an exploration of the Indian culture.
Indian culture is one that isn't too enhanced in Troy. Like, not many people know much about the culture. They just know the stereotypes. So by dancing, singing, and comedy acts on India, I feel like we can expose people more to India and its cultures.
The evening began with the comedic act embracing the humorous aspects of Indian culture, followed by singing and dancing solos and duos, all of which leaving the audience wanting more. Those who participated all held a common theme of truly caring to share their culture with their fellow students at Troy, as they've met twice a week for the last month in preparation for the event.
I think it's my responsibility as somebody from Asia to expose the culture, because not many people know about it. So I don't want people to think stereotype of Bollywood dancing is just those costumes in the movies. It's more than that. It's about the lyrics, and it's about the movements and the dance.
In addition to the show, those who gathered were fed a traditional Indian meal and were able to speak with and get to know each other personally. ISCO has grown tremendously and encourages students of all cultures and backgrounds to join them at their weekly meetings that are usually held in Howe Hall. Sam Granville, Troy TrojanVision News.
Well, it's time for our last break, but when we return, we'll see what happens when creatures of the wild combine with creatures of the night. It might be a little scary. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
All right, I know this isn't any fun to talk about, but we should. Okay, so who's gonna do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice.
And I'll try to get the generator going without any gas.
Oh, let's not forget the cell phones, which probably won't work.
Right.
And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
Well, I think we couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
Now back to Troy TrojanVision News Weekly.
On Friday, American Downfall had its first meeting of the semester to discuss whether or not free speech is being threatened. Seth Carpenter has the story.
American Downfall is an organization that brings students and professors together into an environment that allows for conversation on controversial topics. And Dr. Ritter talked about why he created the organization.
I created this discussion group so that students at Troy University can discuss controversial topics in an open forum.
And the controversial topic that was discussed last Friday was if free speech is under threat.
Some have been concerned that free speech is under threat on college campuses, in businesses and workplaces. And so I opened up the question to students to see what they thought about this.
With opening it up to a room full of students and professors, you are bound to get varying opinions and viewpoints. But like one student said, it is important to meet in the middle.
There were some things where it was kind of like, hey, we're going to have to agree to disagree. But there were some things where we both kind of met in the middle on some stuff, and that's really good. That's an important thing that I feel like is lacking in our society today, is people willing to compromise and think about things from another viewpoint other than their own.
And hearing a viewpoint other than your own is what makes this type of organization important to its participants.
We always have people with different viewpoints, and I believe that it's really interesting and important to hear both sides of the spectrum.
This event is really important for me because it gives me an opportunity to hear what other people think about things that might be different from what I think, and then say, oh hey, that's an interesting viewpoint on that. Maybe I want to apply that to my way of thinking and see what kind of happens there.
If you are interested in learning more or how to get involved, talk with your history professor. Seth Carpenter, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Many of Troy University's broadcast journalism students spend a great deal of time in this studio. However, last week, some of those students had the chance to visit a commercial television station to see what life might be like after graduation. Lauren Hartson gives us a look from our Montgomery News Bureau.
I'm Daryl Hitt. Tonight at 10, we're surveying the damage left behind by Hurricane Michael.
No, you didn't change the channel, and you're still watching Troy TrojanVision News, but the students of Broadcasting Club at Troy University got the chance to have first-hand experience at a professional news station.
We go tour news stations across the Wiregrass. We've been to WDHN in Dothan already this year, and we're here at Alabama News Network, or WAKA, whatever you like to call it. We're just going to tour their facilities and see what they got here.
While Troy students have the opportunity to get plenty of experience on the Troy TrojanVision News set, Broadcasting Club provides more opportunities for them to experience real-world sets such as this one.
The experience that you get in college is great, but it is college still, so I think that seeing how it works in a newsroom that's working every day, multiple newscasts, reporters and anchors who've been in the field for years to give you that wealth of knowledge that they have, I think kind of gives you a taste of what to expect.
And that is the sole reason behind Broadcasting Club, to give education and experience.
Our goal basically is to educate students on broadcasting, get them out of the classroom and visiting with television stations or radio stations.
And while visiting Alabama News Network, these students were able to watch the 5 o'clock newscast, tour the different studios, editing booths, and production areas, as well as meet a few of the professionals at the station who were able to give some advice.
Don't give up. This can be a really tough industry at times, especially to get into. You get a lot of no's. It's just about finding the right one out there, and that takes some perseverance.
In Montgomery, Lauren Harkson, Troy TrojanVision News.
Halloween is a little over a week away, but for some little ghosts and ghouls, it wasn't too early to start having some spooky fun. And those creatures of the night had a chance to mingle among the creatures of the wild leading up to Halloween. Sarah Weeks shows us how from our Montgomery News Bureau.
If you thought you saw a witch, goblin, or other ghoul this past weekend in the city of Montgomery, you weren't seeing things. The Montgomery Zoo was taken over by a variety of creepy creatures in celebration of the 2018 Zoo Boo.
It's our 27th year for doing Zoo Boo, and it's just a fun fall festival carnival atmosphere. We have games for the kids, we have inflatables. We'll actually have characters out on various nights.
In addition to games and activities, Zoo Boo participants were able to show off their Halloween costumes, meet characters from a galaxy far, far away, and even take a hayride around the zoo.
Oh, it was awesome. We had a great time. Did you have a good time? Yeah?
Yeah! And for those who were looking for a little more of a thrill, Zoo Boo's haunted hayride didn't seem to disappoint.
The person with the chainsaw, he got onto the trailer and went up and down the aisle, and I started screaming bloody murder.
And while Zoo Boo offers individuals a chance to enjoy some spooky games and activities, it also allows people an opportunity to give back to the zoo itself.
All of the proceeds from the event, from the 12-night event, are turned right back around into the zoo, into either expanding exhibits, renovating exhibits, or getting new animals for the zoo.
If you want to get in on all the scares and thrills, Zoo Boo will be open every weekend in October, and admission is $17 at the gate. In Montgomery, Sarah Weeks, Troy TrojanVision News.
And that's what happened this week. To find out what's happening throughout the week, you can tune into Troy TrojanVision News at 5, 6:30, and 10:30 Monday through Friday, or anytime by following us on Twitter at Troy TV News. Also, feel free to like our Troy TrojanVision News fan page on Facebook to see online content from Troy TrojanVision News. We hope you join us again next week for another edition of Troy TrojanVision Weekly. Have a good week.